Hello, hello. Hey there. Have your palms been sweating? Your heart pounding? You can't think straight? It's like, what is happening? You might even feel nauseous or like you just want to scream or even pass out. My friend, you are experiencing a panic attack, a very potent form of anxiety. It is absolutely no fun. And I know because I've experienced it. It's no bueno. And it can happen in the weirdest times. Sometimes for me, it could be the middle of the night. It's the craziest thing. So hi there. I'm Susie Bowers with HypnoProfessional and California Hypnosis Center and Academy. I'm going to be your hostess today for Everything Hypnosis Expert Interview Series 2022. We are here to ignite your hypnotic awesomeness. All right, let's do this. So I'm so excited. I get to introduce my new friend, straight from Las Vegas, Nevada, Kelly Fisher, fellow hypnotherapist specializing in overcoming anxiety and panic disorders in business for business and entrepreneurs. And I'm so excited. So let's bring him on and then we'll talk about how awesome he is because he is doing some cool stuff in the field of hypnosis. So let's welcome Kelly Fisher. Hi, Kelly.
Hello. Namaste.
Hello. Namaste. I've really been looking forward to this interview because you do some amazing stuff. And we've been in the business about the same amount of time too. So we both started, we were 5.
Yes. 4.5. Yes.
Well, I thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person at HypnoThoughts Live in July. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's talk about you. You're doing some really cool work, and I'm going to be so happy to share what you're doing because so many people out there really need it, especially now, especially with the weird times we're living in. More and more people are experiencing weird kinds of anxiety that have never even experienced it before. And a lot of folks are having to what we're calling pivot their lives and their businesses because of all the craziness going on the last couple of years. And that, of course, when we deal with change can create anxiety. So let's talk about you. So cool. Kelly Fisher, a renowned hypnotherapist and personal stress and anxiety coach for entrepreneurs and business owners, known for your no nonsense, no fluff, and quick results. Quick results are always good. Making Kelly a sought after hypnotherapist. Kelly has co-authored numerous books to get the message out. And you have many programs that you've taught, both on stage and also online and virtually. An entrepreneur yourself for 26 years, you've been in this field, which is amazing. I've been 25 and a half. You understand the power of overcoming self-doubt and anxiety that can happen from being an entrepreneur. That does happen sometimes. So helping people get in control of their thought, feeling, and emotion.
Yes.
All right. For dramatic, life-changing results. I love your motto. Slow your mind down and speed up your results.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Get better results. Yeah.
So tell us about you. I learned some new things about you. First, I know you told me that you're a rock star. That's so exciting.
I was.
I'm a martial artist.
Yes. Studying martial arts my whole life. I train out here at the UFC center with the real UFC guys. It's very intimidating, but it's nice. It's nice being challenged. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah,
that is amazing. Yeah. So let me just, before we get too deep in this too, I just want to check some tech stuff. Looks like everything is working well. So in order for, first of all, thank you for joining us. We are so appreciative that you're here. And if you have questions, we're happy to take them. But in order for us to see your comments, in order for the Book of Faces and our Be Live platform to work together, and so we can see your comments, you have to click the link, and I'm going to pop it in here in just a second. So hold on, and hold on. Let me see if I can find it. And while you're at it, go ahead and tell us where you are streaming from. Just give me a second here. I got to find this link.
Sure.
That's not what I want. All right, let's see here. Here we go. Okay, copy the link and I'm going to throw it in the chat here. So you have to click this link here to allow us to see your comments. All right, there you go. And please let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear where you're from. And if you have any questions, let us know. Okay, great. So Kelly, tell us, how did you get into the field of hypnosis, going from being a rock star?
Yes. It's yeah. I was actually still with the band, and we'd rehearse like all Saturday night, and I'd literally come home, or after a gig, come home Sunday morning, and I'd listen to this guy on the radio show, and he was a hypnotherapist, and I just really loved what he had to say. I've been studying the human mind my whole life because I was born awake, which is a whole nother story. It was torture when I was a kid, but now it's awesome. But so I love what he was talking about, and I realized he was a hypnotherapist, and he lived in Los Angeles, not too far from me. So I had some anger management problems back in the day. So I went to see him. And it's like the first session or two, all of a sudden, like I was walking through my garage in Hollywood and this guy shoulder bumped me real hard. And I went up to my car and I went to open the door. And I'm like, wow, I would have been really angry right there. Wow, it's gone. This is weird. So I'm like, then I realized HMI was like 10 minutes away out in the valley. So I said, I want to go study that. I want to be a hypnotherapist myself because I studied the mind anyways. And that led me on this journey of, mind and body madness up till now.
That is awesome. I'd love to even dive into that story even more. That is amazing. So can we go back a little bit? Because you said something that is extremely provocative, and I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So you said you were born awake?
Yes.
And what does that mean?
I'm a co-author in 3 other books in the Wake Up series. One with Wim Hof and Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, some of my heroes, which I'm like, I'm not worthy. But my chapter in that book was called Born Awake, and my first sentence was, I know that sounds like an ego trip, but when I was in school in 5th grade, I'd be sitting in the back of the class and everyone would be talking, the teachers, everyone moving around. I felt like I was sent from another planet to observe human behavior at a very young age. I'm like, this is weird. I have to know what's going on. I have to know everything. It's a sickness. I study quantum physics. I have to know everything. We don't know what dark matter is yet. I got to figure this out. I always have to learn and figure everything out. So I was born awake and it freaked me out when I was a kid. And as I got older, I'm like, oh, okay. Like it's a different level, different awareness. And it led into my out of body experiences, my remote viewing, my lucid dreaming, all different levels of consciousness that I'm on now. I was like, it was kind of happening then, but it freaked me out when I was young.
Oh my gosh. I just cannot believe that you just shared all that. I too had a similar experience. And what's interesting is I was sharing with you about my son, my 18-year-old son. Right. He has those experiences too. And same kind of thing, like feels like he's all into quantum physics. He's always observing human behavior. He has a lot of opinions about it right now because he's at that age, but kind of the same thing, out of body experiences. And I'm like, you're so lucky I'm your mom.
I understand all this, right? Yeah.
Because we would just put you in the straitjacket.
Yes. Or go medicate.
You and I definitely have to talk more. I'd love to introduce you to my son because I think he would totally dig you. So thank you for sharing that. That's why I asked you to share that. And so we're definitely going to check your books out. So what are the name of your books?
It's a Wake Up series. He's got like 20 of them. Stephen E. God, what's his last name? It's a Wake Up series. He's got like 20 of them. I'm co-author in 3 of them. I got to put them on my website because I'm just rebuilding the website right now. But I launched my own book last year. It was called Weight Loss from the Inside Out because I used to be a personal fitness trainer. So I kind of combined the two. That was my first book I published last year.
Oh, that is so awesome. Yeah. That is great. Well, congratulations on all of that. That's really cool. And can we get the book over on Amazon?
Yep. It's on Amazon. Weight Loss from the Inside Out, a mind and body awakening.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. So tell us about the anxiety. So why is that your specialty and how did you get involved in that?
Yes. The first wife of 14 and a half years just walked out on me one day. I never had anxiety and I was a therapist probably for like 8 years at that point. And I literally laid there and just stared at the ceiling with such extreme anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I could barely make it to work. And one day I just laid in the lazy boy. I said, just take me. I don't have the guts to jump off this building and stop the roof shatter. I mean, it was bad. I wish that on nobody. And after like a few days in and out, I don't know how many days, I came up the other side and I thought, oh, I feel better. I can get to work. And I thought, oh, she's gone. I'd go right back in. So it took me a while to get, when I got back on my feet, I started developing, I didn't know at the time, but I started developing like this fork in the road technique where I started thinking about her or that. And I go, no. And I pull myself back to the now. And later on, it became the fork in the road in my program. So like a couple of years after that, I was working with an online coach and she goes, oh, you need a signature program. And I told her that story. She goes, that's it. I said, I'm not reliving that. No way. And she goes, but think about how many people you could help because you got over it so quick. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why I put my 6-week online training program together, Anxiety Solution. And the Think Module 4 is Fork in the Road. And it's my whole system is control, reduce, and end. Because when I started that program, I looked up definitions of anxiety, literal definitions, and I couldn't find any. They used anxiety in the answer. I'm like, you can't use it in a definition. So I had to come up with my own. And my own was where you're at in the physical universe and where your mind is racing in the future, unfortunately, with negative thoughts. That gap is anxiety. We can never control that gap. Like Stuart Wilde calls etheric leaning. You go in here, that fighter mind can only handle so much, dumps it in the body, fight or flight. It gets right. You're trying to get to the future. It whizzes so fast. That is literally physically what a panic attack is, an anxiety attack. It's trying to get to that future. So control with your breath, reduce the roof chatter that we think we are, end anxiety. So I have a 3-part system in my online program. That's how I developed it.
I love it. So you said control, reduce, and what was the other one?
Control, reduce, and end anxiety. Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I love what you're doing. And I love the fork in the road imagery. I use it a lot with my smoking cessation clients.
Sure.
And it is so powerful. I've also used it with other things like success, you choosing the path of success and what that means. But anxiety is such a weird one. So you talked about breath, and I know that breath is really important because when you're having that experience, you're just not breathing. Just face it. So could you share maybe your breathing technique on that?
Sure. And like you said in the opening, when you were talking about palms sweaty and like, it feels like you're having a heart attack. I've been there. And I've literally had clients come into my office here, pull over on the side. They call me and say, I'm going to the hospital instead. I'm having a heart attack. I'm like, pull over to the side of the road, shut the car off, take a deep breath. When you have the anxiety attack, when the panic and the heart race, the last thing you think you're in control of is your breath, but that's actually the only thing you're in control of. So that's why I go breath, body, mind. Breath, 3 deep breaths. If you took 3 deep breaths and held them as long as you could, the body, I call it the anxiety circle. It would break the anxiety circle just enough to get you back slowing down. Then I go through a white light healing system. So it's breath, body. Once we get the white light, every muscle group shut off, then we can work with the mind. So it's a whole sliding scale of slowing everything down.
I love it. I also use a lot of light in my programs as well. So it's so powerful because it instantly raises your vibration up out of that lower vibration. So that's beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that. I love it. So control, reduce, end. And what a great thing. And, everybody can have the experience of a panic or anxiety attack, but how you work with entrepreneurs. And so that speaks to me because I am one. How is it different for someone that's in business for themselves, and how does it benefit them in creating success?
Well, first of all, I work with all walks of life, of course, housewives and just anybody going through anxiety, but the business owner, when I work with them, they do the work, meaning in between sessions, I record stuff for them and have them listen to it. So they really understand when they come to me. But, typical entrepreneurs, like 3 or 4 businesses, just short fuse, flying off the handle with the business partners with, I got this guy in Canada I'm working with and, arguing with the wife and the in-laws and just doesn't understand what's going on. So after working with me for a short period of time, I explained to him that, would you rather be right or be happy? Because that's one of the things that he really brought into this. He brought into this meeting with his business partners, and he realized they weren't having the idea, even though he pitched it to him before the meeting. And he read the room and he goes, you know what, let's adjourn this meeting and pick it up at another time. And he told me, he goes, I would usually muscle through that and be insulted and that they didn't want to pick, and I would just pound through it. He goes, I realized I heard your voice in the back of my head. Would you rather be right or be happy? And I thought, I'd rather be happy. I said, let's adjourn this at another time. And one of his partners talked to him the next day. I said, that was very astute of you to leave the room and, and shut that meeting down. He goes, you guys, yeah, we could pick it up another time. And he said he would have never done that before without working with me.
Oh, that's such powerful words, Kelly. Would you rather be right or be happy? I actually wrote about that in my book, 10 Keys to Living a Soul Life.
Yes.
And it made me laugh because when you have teenagers and you say that to them, they say, I want to be both. I'm sorry. You can't have it both ways.
Well, you mentioned these times with the lockdowns and all this craziness. I have become in the last year the marriage and a relationship counselor because I'm working with so many couples and it all bleeds over. It's all human behavior, but even in that counseling, it's like, would you rather be right? Because that means somebody's got to be wrong. And they go, okay, yeah, I see that. And just so it bleeds over into any human behavior. That's the beauty of it.
And the truth is there is no wrong. It's just a different point of view. It's blended together. But you brought up a really good point right now. And something I was thinking about when I was out on my walk this morning. It's very cold here, by the way. We have a cold snap going on for this California girl.
Okay. I was going to say, what our cold snap is 52. What's yours?
We're at about, it was like 39 when I was out walking. Right, it'll be high of 55 probably. So anyway, I was out walking and I was thinking about you. And I thought, do we want to talk about, how popular the business of hypnotherapy and coaching is right now and why it's such a great opportunity to jump on board. Mm-hmm. And the reason why you just hit that right on the head. I personally have tried to get a hold of some psychologists and counselors for my son, for myself, some things I wanted to work on. And they're so slammed, they don't even call you back. They're not, most of them are not taking any new clients or patients, whatever they call it. But that really, it's made a lot of people contact me to come do hypnotherapy. And it's a huge opportunity to kind of blend those things together and really help people that are struggling right now. Yeah. So if you can learn Kelly's program and it can help you in your business and also in your life. So, all right. So thank you for bringing that up. So I love this question because of what you said earlier, but how does quantum physics and quantum mechanics come into play here for you?
I get it into my business by saying, I introduce I have clients first session or two. I talk about my out-of-body experience. And the reason I talk about different levels of consciousness, just to let them know that this roof chatter that's going through their head, this yip, yip dog that doesn't shut off, that's not them. Most people think they are that voice, they are that story. And I kind of teach them to be once removed from it, zoomed out, so to speak. And I always bring up Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, because when he said, when he wanted to commit suicide, he goes, I want to kill myself. He goes, wait a second, that's two separate people. What's going on? Right? He goes, I want to kill myself. The I is the overshadowing I, the
higher self.
Yeah, the higher self, the candle flame that cannot be flickered. It's who you really are. We're not this I'm vibrating so fast that I look like I'm reflecting light, without getting too metaphysical, but this really doesn't exist. So when you realize that myself is this vibrating thing on this illusionary plane of Maya, we call it. And when you understand, you could zoom out and just realize that, oh my God, not only can I slow my mind down, which gets rid of anxiety, I can step back and I could heal myself. You can do whatever you want. That's why I never get sick, because I meditate twice a day. I'm always balancing this physical plane of Maya and I'm always in balance. So yeah, quantum physics really helps understand, the observer effect, where our minds are literally creating reality, and that's proven in quantum mechanics.
It is proven. And I try to share that as well. How beautifully, I love the way you worded that. That was beautifully said, beautifully explained. And gosh, you should have your own show.
I live for this stuff. I'm at home watching Gaia documentaries at night. My wife's like, why are you still studying? I'm like, oh no, this is fun for me. It's quantum mechanics. This is fun.
I'm right there with you. So that's why I transitioned out of my real estate business. I still love real estate. I still, do things with real estate, but I got turned on to Tony Robbins in my 20s because of it. So, that's where we used to talk about how self-employment's really the disguise for the journey of self-improvement.
They go hand in hand. Absolutely.
And I started with Tony, and, he's one of the most well-known hypnotists on the planet,
Yep.
and people don't see him that way, but he really is.
Yeah.
And I was hooked. I
Yeah.
was just hooked. And then so that kind of just led me down my own path and everything. And I'm right there with you. Did shaman work and that sort of thing. And but great. I love it. So what you said something so profound and valuable, and I love how you said it. So your vibration, it's everything. So when you're vibrating at a higher level, you said something, and I'm not sure I can repeat it.
Me neither. Our higher self is vibrating on a different plane. And as you know, there's 70 trillion cells in the body. That's where your subconscious mind is, your imagination. And when you could slow your mind down to the speed you're living and get into this hypnotic meditative state, everything rises and it turns into the law of attraction. You're emitting out this signal, what I call the echo bounce back. See, people like, oh, the secret, you're just going to visualize a Lamborghini in your driveway. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't work that way. But if you don't have that beginning vibration signal going out, you don't have anything. Now you have a negative signal. So you do need that. Like I call the secret like 101. But 201 is I call the echo bounce back. It's like, well, my life is horrible. It's not changing. Like, wait a second. What about that one thing yesterday? Well, yeah, that's nothing. No, that was a little, we got to recalibrate that little echo bounce back that you realize, oh, wait a second. That person I had a conversation with at the water cooler. Yeah, that's weird. I was thinking about that the other day. That's the echo bounce back. You have to realize it looks like your life is the same every day, but it is not. It is bouncing back, and whatever you're putting out, you have to recalibrate that echo bounce back in your life. Concentrate on that one thing that's, oh my God, let's follow that lead. And then your whole life unfolds in a different way.
Absolutely. And recalibrate's a great way of putting that. And something you said too, I can't think of the exact words. We'll have to go back and watch the replay. But when you're vibrating, you said that, you never get sick because your vibration is so high because you take that time to quiet that ego. I call it the stinking thinking down, quiet that down. And that raises your vibration because it's those thoughts, like you were just talking about that example of, oh, nothing good ever happens to me, but not stopping and being in gratitude and love for the goodness that happens just in little moments like that. It then starts to add up. But talk about how vibration, how that, meditation keeps you from getting sick. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, I just talked to a buddy in Chicago yesterday. He's like, well, I get sick twice a year when the weather changes. I'm like, of course you do. I agree.
Because you say so.
Right. Everyone's like, you shouldn't say you never get sick. You're jinxing yourself. I'm like, see how you just think about getting sick and I don't. But, it's like I work out every single day. I'm a martial artist for 30 years. I push hard. And sometimes I wake up and if I get like a little chill to my body, I'm like, oh, interesting. I think that this is what humans call sickness. So I go in the corner, I meditate like for a half hour, change my vibration. I come up the other side, rebalanced. So, what happens is when my body starts to get out of balance, I hear people say, well, it started as a little sniffle. Next week it's going to be a cough in my chest. A week from then, I'm going to be out for three. Wait. You're planning your sickness out? No. Your body's sending you a signal. Shut it down or I will. I pay attention. My body goes, you've been working way too hard. Now all of a sudden you got chills. Go sit down or we're going to shut you down. That's what my body's saying to me. I pay attention. I meditate. I come up the other side. I'm rebalanced. It's like I tell people, like, why do you plug your cell phone in so much to recharge it to 100% capacity? You have to do that to yourself on a daily basis. Otherwise, you just drain your battery down and keep pushing. Of course, you're going to get, of course, it's going to shut you down. You can't go that long.
Absolutely. And so one of the things I share often is about, our light body and our light energy and why tapping into the light here, because we're part of it, is so powerful and raising your vibration quickly. Yep. And I use the example of like Jesus or Buddha and the stories that go along with that, how Jesus could just walk in a village and people were sick.
Yep.
And just because he was there, because his vibration was so high, it literally lifted up the energy for everywhere, all his whole environment and everyone that came in contact with his love and light. Yeah. And when your vibration goes up, it goes out of the vibration or the calibration of dis-ease, if that's the right word, yep, that we could have in our body. So the minute you raise your vibration up, that lower vibration just disappears. It just doesn't exist anymore at that higher level. Yep. And some people will say, so I know that you say you meditate twice a day. For me, I'm like busy, so I tell myself, oh, I don't have time to meditate. some people say that to me, but you just put some headphones on when you go to bed. I mean, that doesn't have to be difficult.
Yeah. And even with entrepreneurs, when they're grinding, and I say, if I'm at home working on my website or my master class, and, I get to the point where I'm just a little like droggy or confused, instead of like pushing through that for the next hour and a half, take 15 minutes and put some headphones on and come back recharged. It's so powerful.
Yes. And do your deep breathing, do your deep breaths, and just be present in the moment. So powerful. I love what you're doing.
I just want to say, I love that you brought up dis-ease, because there's a reason we call disease dis-ease. When your mind's at ease, you can't have dis-ease in your body. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, and Dr. Dyer is one of my favorite mentors for many, many years. I just loved him, and I actually got a chance to meet him. And he talks about oranges. So just use an example of an orange. He goes, so we know that in an orange, there's orange juice, right? So if we squeeze the orange, we know that orange juice is going to come out. So if life squeezes you, yes, what is coming out of you?
And he said, my very first speech I did on stage, I use that example. That's so funny. It's like, it doesn't matter what you squeeze it with, what time of day you squeeze it. The same thing comes out.
That's the importance and value of meditation, because when you're filling yourself with a light and you have that patience inside, you get squeezed. Life's going to squeeze you here and squeeze you there. Yep. And then just patience and goodness comes out, because that's what's in there.
Yep. I was filming my anxiety 6-week online training program. And I was looking at my phone, and that was when the day Wayne Dyer passed away. And I was literally shooting a section where he interviewed Portia Nelson, 5 stages of life, 5 chapters of life. And I was shooting a video explaining how that relates to anxiety. And I was using his message. And it was like, at that moment, I realized I got a message on my phone that he passed away. And I was just like pushed back from the desk, and it hit me like I lost a brother. I'll be honest with you.
Well, me too. I felt a connection with him. I dream about him sometimes. So I know that we have some sort of connection, which he did with many people. He was definitely one of the
pioneers,
gurus, forward thinkers, spiritual leaders of our time, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to have his programs on cassette back in the day.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
Me too. That's great. So let's talk about your training, because you have some cool stuff on your website. First of all, we'll come back to that in just a second. Let's talk about HypnoThoughts Live, because that's how you and I got connected. So we are getting together at this amazing and fun convention in July. It's going to be July 29th through the 31st, and you are teaching there. Tell us about what you'll be doing at HypnoThoughts Live in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I believe this is the first year they're doing the panel of experts. So that's pretty cool that it's new. I'm going to be on a panel of anxiety experts. That's what I'm coming with, but I'm pretty sure it's all about anxiety. I'm going to be on a panel Sunday, and up there answering questions and kicking out some knowledge, and just I've been on stage my whole life. I love being on stage.
You're a rock star. I'm serious. You really are. Tell us about
my last show was in front of 10,000 people in Arizona. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
That was cool.
That is awesome. So then, so that's going to be really exciting. So if you're watching, whether the replay or live, you can let us know that too. Just drop a little note down below. And if you want to find out more about HypnoThoughts Live and how you can attend this amazing conference with so much great training, no matter what business you're in, it will benefit your life. Then let me know, and I'll private message you, or you can private message me. And then also, so Kelly, let's talk about your 6-week online training. Your anxiety solution is amazing. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Like I said, when I came out of that extreme anxiety and I was working with a coach, he's like, you need to put that program together to help people. So, it's 6 modules, over 15 guided visualizations, like 18 hours of video teaching. I interviewed 5 other experts, a hypnotherapist, a yogi guru, my chiropractor who works with the UFC guys. He makes his nutrition, his own, protein powder stuff. And so I interviewed him. Just those are like bonuses, but
lots of bonus stuff. I saw that.
Yeah. The crux of it is, go ahead.
I was going to say the meat of it, you're saying the crux of it, the meat and potatoes is really good. I was intrigued by all the topics. So go ahead and share.
I'm proud of it. It took when I first I hired a web designer to launch it. He goes, wow, how much you pay for all this editing? Like 10 grand. I'm like, I edited everything myself. I'm in the wrong business. I said 10 grand. I was up all night, like in Vimeo and iMovies and just dropping in stuff. I edited the whole thing, but yeah, the first three modules are control, reduce, and end, like we talked about. The first module actually what anxiety is. Like the Mayo Clinic said, well, anxiety, we don't know what it is or where it comes from. It's just a normal part of everyday life. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, where it comes from, and it doesn't have to be part of normal everyday life. So that's like the first module. The second module is control, breath work, all about the breath work. Control, reduce that roof chatter. I call original thought. Once you could slow your mind down, then you could tap into original thought, because anxiety is A or B, fight or flight. You really feel like you only have two choices. So when you do take the breaths and start to slow the mind down, I call it original thought. Like, oh, I never would have thought of that before. Exactly. That's original thought. That's control part. Reduce, control, reduce, and end. End is fork in the road. As soon as you start, life will throw you off constantly. The trick to life and getting rid of anxiety is how fast you get back to center. So as soon as you start to go off that rung, I'm not going to go down that road. Even if you don't know what to think yet, it's all about pulling yourself down to center. So that's the fork in the road. Then we can decide to make better decisions. It's kind of like Abraham Hicks, I'm sure you listen to. Yeah. Their example is like a freight train's going 100 miles an hour this way. Negative thinking. You just can't go 100 miles an hour this way. We know that with the freight train, but with the mind, it's like, well, I want to stop thinking negative thoughts. Well, you can't just start thinking positive thoughts. We have to control, reduce, and then get back to center. The sooner you can get back to center, now I can make a choice of thinking positive. So that's the fork in the road. Module 5 is Morning Cup of Joe, Joe, just outstretch ego. Little play on coffee there. Just outstretch ego. Yeah. So the first 10 minutes in the hypnagogic zone, when we're in between sleep and awake, you listen to these 10-minute meditations in the morning, and it recalibrates your day. So you're just outstretching your ego just by 3 or 5% for the morning, and your day is going to change. Like I talked about that radio signal, that bounce back, your day is going to change. So Morning Cup of Joe has like 6 different meditations to choose from in the morning, like, relationships, ideal life, ideal career, everything everyone always wants. So
wow, powerful.
And the last one is called, module 6 is called A New You, how to take this and move forward with it, with your newfound anxiety-free life.
I love it.
Yeah, I have one interview with GP Walsh, a spiritual teacher, one of my dear buddies, and I said, we're going to go a little metaphysical today, so try to strap in. And so, after you get rid of anxiety, now you could do all this. So I don't know how long that interview was, but it was so fun.
That is awesome. So good. So good. You're one of those people. That's what I love about our industry. You are literally helping raise the vibration of the planet as you help people move past this into their greatness and who they're here to be. So beautiful. Thank you. And you have a free masterclass coming up.
I do.
And so let's talk about that. So I put your website up here. If you want to find out about Kelly's masterclass, you can go to his website, globalmindstretch.com. So it's here on the screen, and you can sign up for the free masterclass, How to End Anxiety, Stress, and Overwhelm, and also to check out his 6-week online training course, The Anxiety Solution, which is really, really cool. Yeah. What a change in your life that could create just by learning to overcome anxiety. Very, very cool stuff. So, any final words or anything else you want to share? You're fascinating. I could talk to you all day.
This is fun, right? We have a lot of similarities, obviously. A lot of same study. It's funny you said, like, my big, hairy, audacious goal is to end mental suffering. That's why I believe I'm here. And when I first came up, when somebody first asked me, like, what's your big, hairy, audacious goal? And that just popped in my head. And I first thought, who am I? Who am I to end mental suffering? And I thought, yeah, my logo in my home office is a Global Mind Stretch, and it's got the earth. That's my company name, Global Mind Stretch. And I thought, I want to stretch the mind of the earth to upraise consciousness and end mental suffering. It's like, if you're going to have a goal, you might as well have a big one. So
absolutely. I love it. I love the way you put it too, hairy and audacious. I love So you have just been delightful, and I'm so excited to get to meet you in July at HypnoThoughts in Las Vegas. Yeah. I'm going to be coming out there from Stockton, California, cool. From one hot place to another.
Right. Right. Should be worn by then. Yeah.
Yeah, at least by then.
The
So,
one,
all
one thing
right.
I was going to say, one thing I do leave with also is that it's very important that, depression, depress on our own emotions. Our circles when we go through anxiety and depression, our circles get so small and we don't think anybody could ever understand what we're going through. And there's no way anybody can understand that. I just wanted to let people know that there's always help out there. There's always someone who has been through it that understands and can help you get out. So no matter how small your circle seems and there's no way out, reach out for help. People have been through what you're going through.
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that, because that is really, really important right now. So a lot of people I've been experiencing in my community are just really feeling hopeless, and in some areas just overwhelmed and hopeless. And there is help. We're here. We're out here. People, just sometimes you just need to talk to somebody and let that be okay. So thanks for finishing up with that, Kelly. Appreciate it. So if you want to find out more about Kelly and maybe even work with him, you go to globalmindstretch.com, sign up for his free masterclass, or if you're ready to jump in and take a deep dive and really get your life on track, then sign up for a 6-week online course, Training Anxiety Solution. Say that 10 times fast.
Yes. Anxiety Solutions, slow your mind down to the speed you're living. It's officially called.
I love that. Oh, thank you. I only wrote down a little note. So thank you so much, Kelly. It's been a deep honor. Namaste. Thanks for sharing your awesomeness. We're igniting all the hypnotic awesomeness with the show. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to let you run away. All right. So thank you for joining us here on the HypnoProfessional Everything Hypnosis Expert Interview Series 2022 every Wednesday at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Time. I'm Susie Bowers, your hostess with the mostest. And I just want to thank you for joining me. Also, just at HypnoProfessional, I'm here to help you grow your hypnosis or coaching business. I'm taking my 35 plus years of entrepreneurial experience and combining it into the HypnoProfessional 6-figure blueprint to help you get those systems in place, your website, your lead capture system, your social media, your email systems. And that's something I learned early on in my career was things really took off for me when I got this. And that is the importance of having systems in place, having mentorship. Makes a huge difference. You aren't reinventing the wheel. When other people have already done it, you can do it too in your own special way. And taking the right kind of action. And today, more than ever, our businesses are online. We can reach more people this way, which has actually been a huge blessing. It's just kind of connecting the dots and being the best hypnotherapist or coach that you can be. So if you'd like to open up a conversation, happy to hear from you and to have a conversation. I can give you a little review of your systems now and how you might improve your social media or whatever you want to improve. And I'd love to hear from you. So just drop me a message, a private message, or just make a note down below and I'll give you a buzz. All right. Thank you so much. I loved being here with you. And let's do this. Have a great day. Happy, wonderful Wednesday. Bye now.